it was just a mammoth task. I was very keen to show the breadth of Britain and just remembering being that age. I think a lot of people think that as a director you have to have all the answers, and you don't. Craft never goes out of fashion. Good storytelling and craft never go out of fashion, and I think I'm just trying to preserve those things. Love Song, the company I'm signed to, had won the rebrand of EE that Saatchi were doing, and Ben Mooj over at Saatchi, he really wanted this to be the sort of thing as well that sparked British advertising again. So he was very invested, and he really wanted to make it fresh. So Daniel Wolf had done some of the other EE spots, and then this Freedom script came up, and Daniel said, look, I think you should go in for this one because you know youth culture, you're very close to it. It was just a mammoth task. You know, it was such a big task of how do you show how phones and, you know, the way in which young people consume digital media and social media and so on in this day and age, and how that can impact their lives. In this small window of the Wild West after school, the bell goes, parents finish work at 5 or 6, and children, you know, they're unsupervised on their way homes, and they get into mischief and various stuff. So I was like, oh God, it's a big ask. I was very keen to show the breadth of Britain and just remembering being that age.
What is that? So embarrassing. I'll send it.
The technology has changed, and it continues to change, and children's interests change, but the sort of archetypes of youth culture don't change. You get bullies, you get nerdy kids, you get jocks, you get shy kids, you get people that are amalgamation of all these things, and it was crucial that we showed all these people across Britain. The casting process, again, that was mammoth. We did London, Manchester and Scotland, and what we did is we'd go into a school and we would see every single year group, and we'd sort of have an open casting, and I would really work with these kids. We'd really work it, so it wasn't done with a casting director. It was done with a casting director, but I was conducting it. I would, you know, create a scenario where the bell goes and we'd couple the kids up and they'd walk home from school, and we'd find out their interests and their quirks and their personalities, and yeah, I think we saw about 4,000 kids, and through that process we were able to really show, you know, an array of society and different socio-economic backgrounds, and I don't know, I think it shows in the result. You know, it shows that we really were committed to showing this breadth of the UK.
Growing up with phones isn't easy. EE Learn has new tools to help for every kid on any network. This is New EE.
The cinematography of the film was very considered in a lot of ways. So, for example, yes, in the beginning at the school, everything is very composed. It's very authored, austere almost, you know, to represent the structure of school. As soon as that bell goes, freedom begins, you know. And I was looking at French filmmaker Bruno Dumont, and his movie La Vie de Jesus was a main reference for the EE Freedom spot, because he filmed street-cast people on anamorphic lenses and just amazing faces, and we tried to adopt some of that spirit of, you know, shooting street-cast kids on anamorphic. And I think he had a quote that was amazing. He's like, I shoot real people on celluloid because they deserve it. And I think that was almost our mantra for the spot as well, you know. So what I did then is I went to Diego Garcia, who is a very well-respected art house cinematographer, Mexican, who I've previously collaborated with. And then I thought it'd be a great idea if we pair Diego Garcia with a rising star in the UK. So we had two voices. So we had Harry Wheeler, who's this young cinematographer that's come up through the ranks now and has made an amazing name for himself and is phenomenal in his own right. And then we had this very experienced outsider in a lot of ways who had wisdom. So we had this youth and wisdom. And I think that recipe and that combination of the two is another reason that for why the work visually sort of has stood out and has been a success. I think a lot of people think that as a director you have to have all the answers, and you don't. Okay, Jack, let's do it. You lean on people and you know when to ask questions and you know when to say, you know what, I don't know, what do you think? And then you take that on board and you say, yeah, that's great, let's go with that. Or, no, I still don't think that's right. And, I think that, for me personally, that's where I've really developed in the last few years. It's realising that you don't have to have all the answers and lean on people more. And I think I came in thinking that I needed to be more of an auteur and every decision and be a lot more rigid in my process. And I've become more fluid and now love collaboration and multiple voice, but ultimately it's still my voice. And then I think collaboration with agency and client is also crucial, and I think it's a part that a lot of young directors don't get to learn. They don't get to see a good example of that dynamic and how it should work. And I think a good collaboration with agency is just transparency. Saatchi did a fantastic job on the EE work because they allowed, created freedom and space for us to make something really great, and knew when the right time to intervene was to help the process to make great work. But I think ultimately creative people need space, as long as they can communicate why and articulate themselves and justify, I need this to give you this, and in exchange you're going to get this. I think the most important thing to bring on set as a director is just probably good vibes. I think you got to be able to command your set, and when you command a set, that doesn't mean you have to be the loudest person or bullish, but you just need to know what you want to achieve that day. I think it's crucial that you know everyone's name and you create a welcoming environment. It's your set, it's your name above the door. And I think you need to lead by example. I think that's crucial. You need to have a North Star. You need to know what you want. But equally, the nature of the beast is it doesn't always work how you plan. So lean on people, ask, collaborate, be open. And I think that goes a long way with people. I think people appreciate vulnerability because, especially for actors, and as I often work with street cast people, they're not used to that environment of grips everywhere around them and a person doing their makeup, so it's my job to make them feel comfortable and be like, you know what, I don't know either sometimes, but we're going to figure it out together and we're going to get there. All right, wait. Okay, Jack, when you're ready. Craft is crucial. We live in a time now with so much technology, so much means. You can make a movie on your iPhone, you can, a kid can edit, everyone can do everything, color grade at home, you can. Storytelling and craft are just the most important, though, out of all these things, because we all have all the means now, but not everyone can tell a story, and storytelling is as old as mankind, cave paintings, and that needs to be preserved. There needs to be preservation for good storytelling, and you preserve good storytelling through craft. So those two things go hand in hand, really. And it's so funny because commercials, adverts, whatever, are such a good medium for storytelling, because obviously you want to make people feel things through, joy, happiness, whatever. Great ads, they live on. They live with me still, Glazer ads or Frank Budgeon or Tony K ads or, Chris Palmer ads from back in the day. I remember them. when I got into the industry, I was like, well, I don't just want to make contemporary work. I want to make work that stands the test of time. And craft never goes out of fashion. You know, there's stylistic changes, there's shifts. Everyone's shooting on this camera, this lens, and doing this now, but good storytelling and craft never go out of fashion. And I think I'm just trying to preserve those things and push those things, and also show young people that, look, you can do this too, because I'm not the best filmmaker in the world, you know. It's just a lot of hard work.